Hello everyone. I'm Jayanth, and as I said, I'm the host for today, and also I'll be giving my speech about one of the topics. This is from the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. Before that, let me introduce myself. I'm from Bangalore, and I have over 8 years of experience in the IT industry. And I've been part of this amazing PIM community for more than 11 months now. And I would like to thank Vineet for introducing me to this community. So let's say there is an idea you came up with after so much thinking, experimenting, and then so much iterating over it. You came up with an idea. And then there is one idea, someone came and told you and said, okay, implement this and you'll get the best out of whatever you want trying to do. Which of these ideas would you automatically get behind? The one you came up with yourself or the one someone is giving you? Which will you have most faith on? So more often than not, what happens is people generally get behind the idea which are theirs or something they came up on their own. Yet most times what happens is, like, let us say if we want to convince someone of our idea, if we want someone to buy our idea, we try to force it down their throats. We try to get them to see our points by hook or crook. Even though we know that that approach rarely works. Like, let us say if you're a businessman and if you have a customer, if you try to do that, you probably lose that customer. And if it's a person who you know well, that person will start resenting you. Every time you try to force an idea of yours on them, they'll start resenting you. So in this book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, the author Dale Carnegie gives an example of a person called Eugene Wesson, who was losing thousands of dollars in commission. So there is this guy called Eugene Wesson. He's a salesperson for a studio. This studio sells designs to stylists, and then basically they create designs and they sell them to stylists. And this Eugene Wesson is a salesperson for that studio, and he goes around all the stylists and asks them what they want and then selling them the sketches prepared by the studio. And there is this one stylist in particular whom Mr. Wesson calls every week, and he does this like 3 years straight. I mean, just imagine 3 years he's been calling him every week, like 150 times. And this stylist never refused to talk to Mr. Wesson. But then he never bought anything from him. Whatever he's trying to sell, he never bought it. So Mr. Wesson tried to sell him 150 times and failed. So just imagine yourself in his position. 150 failures. What will happen to you if you fail like 150 times? You would start thinking there's something fundamentally wrong, right? I mean, this approach you're taking, there's something wrong with that. Something you have to change to make it work. And Mr. Wesson thought the same. He felt that he was in a mental rut. He felt that he had to change something. So what he did was he dedicated 1 week to study human behavior and how to influence it. And finally, he realized the truth. He realized that he has to take a new approach, and he did take a new approach. What he did was he took a dozen unfinished sketches from the studio and rushed to the stylist office. And then he told him, okay, these are the uncompleted sketches. Please take a look at them and tell me how this can be finished so that these are useful to you. And suddenly he could see some interest in stylist's eyes. I mean, 150 times, whatever he had not seen, he saw it this time. So the stylist went over the sketches and then made some suggestions as to how this needs to be completed. So now Mr. Wesson was so energized, he took all the sketches back to the studio and got them completed in the way the stylist wanted. So what do you think happened after that? The stylist bought them all. He bought them all enthusiastically and even ordered some more. So the moral of the story is, Well, so when Mr. Wesson stopped selling, he was able to sell more. So Mr. Wesson stopped selling his ideas and made only suggestions to the stylist and allowed the stylist to come to the conclusion on his own. And then he bought them on their own. So what we have to learn is no one likes to feel that he or she is being sold something or told something to do. We as humans prefer to feel that we are buying on our own or acting on our own accord. So we like to be asked, we like to be consulted, we want to be consulted, we want to be asked of our idea, we want to be important, and we want to tell our thoughts, we want to tell our wishes. So next time, if you're trying to get someone's cooperation on for one of your ideas, instead of trying to force that idea on the person, you should just make a suggestion. Just ask for their inputs. What are their thoughts? What do they think about it? That way, that person will also start thinking about that idea, your idea on their own, and eventually make that idea their own. And most likely, when that happens, they'll get behind you. So I'll just conclude here with a quote from Mikhail Bulgakov. Nobody should be whipped. Remember that once and for all. Neither man nor animal can be influenced by anything other than suggestions. Thank you.
Awesome speech. Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Jayanth, I think Jayanth has given a clear-cut difference between coach and manager, right? The moment you are into that instruction mode, somewhere you will act as a manager, right? And very few people like manager. I know few people may like.